Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Gypsy Nurse Live. I am Rachel Altum, the online community manager for the Gypsy Nurse, and we have some very familiar faces joining us today. But before we get started, I just want to kind of let you all know who the Gypsy Nurse is. Some of you are new here, so just to let you know, we are the largest and most active online community for travel healthcare workers. We're proud to be a one-stop shop resource for travel nurses, travel healthcare workers, all of you that are traveling out there in the medical world, whether you're new to travel nursing, have been doing it a while, or getting ready to take the leap. We have tons and tons of articles and videos to help you get started. We have a job board to help find your next adventure, or you're taking that leap for that new adventure. We have housing to help you find where to sleep, where to stay, and discounts, and so much more. We do these lives once or twice a month with industry experts, sponsors, agencies of our website, and other travelers to give our community a chance to ask their travel healthcare questions in real time with someone who knows a thing or two about travel healthcare. So that means, yes, ask your questions in the comments. We have a whole team of people wanting to answer them today. So be sure to drop your questions in the comments. You can listen to this on demand on the website on gypsynurse.com. So be sure to check that out. Any of our previous live events, you can watch that. This one, so it'll be live right after, and it goes live today. So also, while you're on the gypsynurse.com, be just sure to sign up as a member and visit your profile. There is a little surprise in there. I'll give you a little hint. It looks like this. It's a little heart. Yes, so once you find it, you're going to click on it and it will take you to our stethoscope giveaway. Yes, we're giving away 3 stethoscopes this month to, really honor Heart Health Month. There's a few tips in there, and you also get 20% off your ACLSs. So that's through acls.com. So be sure to check that out. So go find that heart for Heart Health Month and Valentine's Day. The winners will be announced February 10th, 17th, and 24th. So be sure to check that out. Not only will signing up enter you to win, but it'll also get you on the list to receive updates on all things travel healthcare, but also the infamous TravCon, which, if you don't already know, this is the largest travel healthcare in-person conference out there. And yes, I'm including you, Allied. We want to see you there. And even if you're not a travel nurse yet or travel healthcare worker, we have a whole day dedicated to newbie boot camp. So that's the day before everything kicks off. There's a whole day dedicated to all of you newbies out there. So be sure to sign up. And like I said, you don't have to be a travel healthcare worker to attend. You can just be getting started and joining us. So save the date for September 17th through the 20th, 2023 at the Paris and Las Vegas, Nevada. So I heard that tickets will be going on sale pretty soon, earlier than normal. So be sure to sign up on the gypsynurse.com to stay up to date. We would be happy to see all of you out there. Most of you out there would be so much fun. So we have so much fun happening now and throughout this year. Just stay up to date with us by following us on social, sign up for the newsletter, or by becoming a member. So now I'd like to bring on a Gypsy Nurse favorite. They're always going live with us, and we love all the information that they bring to us. So to discuss navigating the world of travel nursing, which has several unknowns, just like navigating to a new city or even down the road to the store. It's not always a seamless experience. There might be a few bumps in the road or some rainbows that are the perks when you're driving. But AMN's Healthcare panel of recruiters is ready to answer your questions, educate you on the current market, and share insider tips and tricks to help you kickstart your new year. So let me go ahead and bring them on. We have Saundra, Michael, Ari, and Lauren. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Rachel. Thanks so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Yeah.
And you do have a lot going on with Gypsy. You weren't lying.
So much fun. Well, I will let you guys take it away.
Perfect. Well, before I introduce the rest of my panel, hi, everybody. We're so excited to be welcomed back again to Gypsy and to be able to answer all of the questions that you have. We're so thankful for our partners here at Gypsy Nurse, not just for these lives, but at TravCon and all the different places that they show up. So very, very thankful for them and for inviting us back here time and time again to talk to all of you. I also can't start these things off without saying just a huge thank you to all of our healthcare professionals as you've helped us navigate personally and professionally the last few years of this crazy COVID pandemic environment. But as you'll hear from us, we are getting back to normal, which is relief, I know, for my panelists here to be able to talk to you about all the fun things that come with travel, or as Rachel mentioned, some of those rainbows that you see along the road. But we know that travel nursing is not always perfect. So we'll talk about some of those bumps and how we at AMN Healthcare, as your recruiters and as a company, really help support you. Before I jump into all of the great things that we have, we do have a giveaway to kick us off. So the first 3 people to ask us a question in the chat. So first 3 people to ask us a question in the chat will get a backpack cooler and an AMN blanket. So definitely things you need on the road or even just at home if that's where you're hoping to stay. So throw those questions in for us and we will pick 3 winners. All right, while I'm waiting for those questions to come into the chat, let's go ahead and introduce our panel. So would love to hear from all of you who you are, and then maybe what you love about being a recruiter at AMN. Michael, you're right next to me on the screen, so I'll start with you.
Definitely. My name's Michael. I'm a AMN recruiter. I've been here for just over a year, and I've been loving it so far. My favorite thing about AMN and working here is just how inclusive we are. We work with so many different healthcare professionals, from nurses to techs, but also just the community that we try to make in our company of being very inclusive is my favorite thing about it.
I love it. Thanks, Michael. And we'll talk more about that too. And keep throwing those questions in the chat. We'll get to them. I see at least one coming through so far. Lauren, let's go to you next.
Hi, I am Lauren. I'm a senior recruiter with AMN. I've been here for about a year and a half now. I would say my favorite thing about being a recruiter with AMN is being able to hopefully make this process a little bit easier for all of the nurses, all of you guys. We know how hard you guys work, and I want to be a part of welcoming you guys into our community and hopefully make it a smooth and fun process for you guys.
I love it. Thanks, Lauren. So happy to have you. And last but not least, Miss Ari, tell us about yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ari. I've been a recruiter with AMN for about 3 years now. And my favorite part about doing this job is getting to connect with the clinicians that I work with. I love when I find out that we have like some common things that we're into, experiences that we like to try. One of my favorite things to talk about is wine. So whenever I get a nurse or a clinician that wants to talk about wine, I'm having a great time.
I love it, Ari. And I think we're going to come back to talking a little bit more about maybe not just specifically wine, but lots of other things that we love to talk to our clinicians about. So keep those questions coming in the chat. I don't really have a ton in here yet, but from Steve, just great information. Thank you for doing this. We're so happy to be here, Steve, to give you that information. And then, Stephen, I did see your question. What percentage of the bill rate does AMN keep? It does vary. So we negotiate our packages with our clinicians based on what the needs of the of you really are. So there's a lot of things that go into that I won't spend too much time here. I think if you have specific questions about a particular contract, reach out to your recruiter and we can go way more in detail to some of those pieces. But keep those questions coming. I definitely want to hear more from you. Oh, thank you, Laura. So how necessary is it to have a BSN to get prime travel nurse contracts? Michael, you're off mute. I don't know if you want to answer that one, but how necessary is it to have a BSN in order to get those travel contracts?
Definitely. So it's all going to be dependent on facilities. So we do have a couple places where a BSN is a requirement for there. But the wonderful thing is that we have a lot of facilities out there that don't require a BSN as part of their process. So it'd be pretty easy to find a place that doesn't require that.
I love it. Yep, you're absolutely right, Michael. So if there is any, there's a couple of specific places that BSN is definitely a requirement, but it's demand is big still out there. So there's lots of positions available for you, and we can definitely find you something even without that BSN. It's, I would say, a nice to have. Ari, what do you think? Nice to have as opposed to a must have at this point?
Yeah, it's just a nice to have. I feel like the majority of the facilities that I work with and staff don't require it.
Love it. Yep. This is a great question. I know we were actually going to talk about it a little bit later, but Ari, I'll stick with you. What are some of the top reasons that you see facilities maybe decline a nurse as they're looking for that perfect position?
I actually don't run into this a lot. I think that our company does such a good job on the front end of narrowing down the positions that you're most likely to get offers for, because of our process of going through like doing a skills checklist and getting to know what the nurse's background is, and also our virtual interview, we're able to send you to places that we know are going to give you the offer. So I rarely run into the getting declined.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. So we'll talk a little bit. I know it's our first kind of topic is just how we support you as recruiters. Tia, I would say that one of the things that we're starting to see is just maybe being a little inflexible when it comes to specific things. So I know a lot of our clients or facilities, and maybe Lauren, you have something to add here, but just having that element of flexibility at time of submission. So not having weeks and weeks of time off that we have to put in contract. Would you add anything there, Lauren?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, like Ari said, it is we're extremely good on the back end of being sure we're submitting to things that we're really qualified for. So the roadblocks that we might hit when we are getting declined is time off. We do see and appreciate everything you guys do, and you deserve so much time off. But if we've got a nurse who's submitting with 20 days requested off and one with 4, the facility is likely going to go with the one who had, a smaller amount of time off. But yes, that is definitely something. We can also go 21, 23, correct me if I'm wrong here, for days in between our contracts where you still get all of your AMN benefits. You won't lose your health insurance. So plan those cruises, those vacations, take as many weeks up to 21 to 23 days to relax. And yes, stay flexible. That will definitely help.
Yes, and you're right, Lauren. It's 21 days without losing that break in coverage. So if you do have our AMN benefits, which we know are so important to all of you as far as your health insurance, some of the perks and things that we offer, you won't lose that in between assignments, which is great. All right. Thank you for the questions. Keep them coming. That is what we're here for. You have a wealth of knowledge and information from these recruiters. So definitely happy to answer any of the questions that you have. So keep them coming. All right. And if you were one of the first 3 questions in the chat, Rachel is tracking for us on the back end. So we'll make sure that you get your AMN backpack cooler and blanket, and can't wait to see how you use it. All right. So our first topic that we were going to go into is something we hear pretty regularly from our clinicians is that we want to have a relationship, right? We want to know what it is that our clinicians are looking for. What are you all hoping to gain from travel nursing? I think the really cool thing now is that we are transitioning back to this more experience related nursing environment, which is fun. And we want you to be out there for fun and seeing some of those bucket list things. I'll go to you, Michael, first. What do you love talking to your clinicians about? What do you love? What questions do you love that they give you?
Yeah, some of the questions that I really like come down to maybe like what else there is that we can do in those areas, and kind of those experiences that we were talking about. So I know that with me, I've had clinicians that I've been working with where we were talking more about like the hikes that they could go on. Perhaps in Arizona, there's like Lake Havasu, and they were able to be go exploring there, or going out into the more mountainous regions of California, visiting wine country and that kind of thing. So that's some of my favorite things to be able to find out from them is just like how can we help to get those bucket list items off that are not maybe necessarily tied as directly to your career.
Yeah, I love that, Michael. It's that experience piece. And Ari, I saw you perk up when Michael was talking about the wine experiences, but what are some things that you love talking to your clinicians about? Or what are those questions that you feel are really impactful for them to ask?
I actually really like when I get the question of, so where do you have your jobs? What jobs do you have? And it's like, well, there's a lot. There's a lot to cover. We are one of the largest staffing agencies. So I like when I get that question because it gives me an opportunity to show like the world is your oyster. You can go pretty much anywhere. And then it leads into conversations of getting to know them a little better, finding out what their goals are behind travel. And then we can let that guide the specific positions that would be best for that clinician.
Yeah, I love that. And you're absolutely right. There's so much opportunity out there. So don't feel like there's not a chance for you to go to Arizona or for you to go to Massachusetts. There's positions all over the country. And as we're starting to transition into more of this stabilized market, it's good news for all of you. There's still positions available. We can absolutely get you to the right assignment. We'll talk a little bit more about that flexibility piece that is coming in, but we know that's something that you want to, is to be a little bit more flexible, and travel nursing absolutely allows you that opportunity. Stephen, good question. Is there a particular part of the country AMN has an edge over other companies? I think we have an edge over other companies pretty much everywhere. But Lauren, is there any part of the country that you would say we have maybe the most positions, or that it's easy to find us positions for clinicians?
Yeah, absolutely. California, we have tons of amazing relationships with facilities in California, New York, Massachusetts, all over the country. We definitely can get you really wherever you want to be. But I would say, yeah, definitely California, New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania for sure. I'm in Pennsylvania. If any of you guys are in Pennsylvania, hello, it's cold. But yeah, definitely California, some of the East Coast for sure.
Yes, I love it, Lauren. And I love that you called out Pennsylvania. We've got some great stuff happening there, and some really great clients that we'll be working with in those areas. So, Stephen, hopefully that answers your question. California is usually a hot spot for most of us, I would say, but really anywhere that you're looking to travel, and maybe even some places that you're not looking to travel to. So one of the things that our recruiters love to do, and Michael, I'll come back to you, is get to know you, as you've heard, and what are those things that you're looking for. But then we also love to help you think of places that maybe you wouldn't originally put on your bucket list. Michael, I think you had a story around this, right? I'm coming back to you.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the best reasons why I love being able to get to know everybody that I work with, is because sometimes, especially with how the market's going right now, sometimes we have all these places that we want to go, but it's with travel nursing, it's very, very quick, especially as far as when we're looking at positions, things are moving very quick. We have pretty fast turnaround times for getting offers and like when we need to accept. Um, and so one of my favorite things to be able to help with that is being able to learn more about what you're looking for, finding out like what are the non-negotiables, but what are the things that we're flexible about. And so, I mean, it happens pretty much weekly. And I mean, this last week, one of my RNs that I was working with, she just wanted to get on the phone for 10 minutes because we had all this information. We had a couple different options, but she just needed a chance to have somebody to listen to be able to get everything just out there so that way she could get some
Oh, and I think we might have
clarity
lost.
on which was going to be the best option for her. Because so I'm sometimes be a here, and if you also need, provide maybe what my thought is on which one is going to be the best option for you.
Yeah. And Michael, you cut out there a little bit, but basically what we're talking through there is just being able to get to know all of you, all of our nurses in particular with this group, but be here for you if you do have any questions or if there's concerns that you have. We also love to be a little bit of that expert for you, or kind of digesting all of the things that are out there in the travel nurse market. So we're here to help you understand other contracts, what is available for you, what is being presented to you from different places. We expect that you're going to be working with more than just us, and that's okay. But we really want to be that career counselor for you. Ari, I saw you nodding your head, so not sure if you have anything to add to that comment.
Yeah, I was just thinking like it's really important to have that sort of relationship with the recruiter right now, especially as the market is changing as we sort of shift out of COVID.
Yeah, and trust is such a big thing for us as your recruiters and for all of you to really feel like you have a partner and someone that you can talk with. So we really want to be that person for you to help guide you through all of the crazy things that are out there, all of those bumps in the road that you might experience or maybe not be quite sure how to navigate. So that is something that, as Michael was talking about, our recruiters really work to do. We also, on the flip side, know that you all are very busy and there's a lot going on in your lives and you're working hard. And sometimes you just need to maybe not talk to someone, but understand and see what's out there. We do also have our app, and if you haven't downloaded it yet, please do. AMN Passport, where you can actually do a lot of job searching. And there's a lot of really cool features on there as well. Things that I'm pretty sure we got from this Gypsy Nurse live that we did a few months ago, but we know that a community is really important to you as well. So there's a really cool community section there. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and go on to our next giveaway since we are talking about Passport. What I'm looking for, and this is a big one, DM us at AMN Nurse on Instagram. So send us a direct message of a screenshot of your dream job and dream location on our Passport app, and you'll be entered to win a raffle for a $200 JNU Scrubs gift card. I have talked to plenty of clinicians. I know you're always in the need for more and new scrubs. I know that we love these JNU ones. So all you have to do is just jump onto Passport, download it if you haven't already, and then just screenshot us a picture of the dream location you have. So wherever that might be, to our Instagram handle at AMN Nurse. Kelly, thank you for the shout out on my decor. I love it as well. It's the only room that I can have pink in my house, and I'm all about it. So thank you for the shout out. And Lauren, for you, Tiga went to nursing school in Pennsylvania. So you've got a fellow Pennsylvania person there.
Oh, hello.
Love it. Feel free to keep throwing those questions in the chat, Steve. I love the ones that are coming through from you. What is your observation on travel nursing rates currently? Seems like they are starting to come down a bit. You're right. They are stabilizing a bit. The great news for all of you is that if you have just entered this travel nursing market at the peak, so if you think post-COVID, kind of in this 2021 to 2022 timeframes, we did see that rates were significantly higher. There was also a lot that was being asked of our clinicians. So it was not uncommon to see a 48-hour to a 60-hour work week, with that being part of the requirement. And now we're starting to see more normal shifts for all of you as far as 36 to maybe 48 if you do want to pick up that extra day. We are still seeing that rates are higher than they were pre-COVID. So balancing out and coming back to more of a normal state, but definitely stabilizing, I would say. Lots of opportunities still for you to make a lot of money, whatever that might look like to you. But you will definitely feel more of that flexibility that you're looking for as far as taking a travel assignment, more of that opportunity, as Michael was talking about, to go and visit someplace that you actually want to spend time in and have days off. We know something that we hear from you all a lot is this feeling of just being burnt out, needing that time to yourself, needing to kind of reconvene and decide how it is that you're feeling, being able to have that time to yourself. I'll turn it over to my recruiters. For things like burnout, what are you helping or what does AMN do in order to help support our clinicians? So Ari, I'm looking at your face, but what are some of the things that AMN does in order to help support this feeling of burnout?
Yeah, so we have a very robust support service, mental health, a lot of mental health resources that are available to our clinicians. I know that we do lives and like podcast, blog posts that cover current topics, things that our nurses, our clinicians are talking about. And then if you are like at a facility and you're having a hard time, we do also have our clinical liaisons at every facility where, you know, they are RNs or they are certified, so they can step in and sort of work on your behalf when it comes to maybe clinical concerns that you might be having.
Yeah, absolutely. That 24/7 clinical support is huge for us. As much as we would like to know everything as your recruiters, we don't, we are not nurses. I think there's a few of us that are, which is great. But we don't know what your day-to-day looks like. And we haven't been in your shoes. And what's so great about our 24/7 clinical support team is that they have been. A lot of them have been travel nurses in the past, recent or a little bit further in the past. So they know how you're feeling. They know what it feels like to walk into a unit and to maybe not feel like you have someone in your corner. But great news, at AMN, we do have someone in your corner at all times, and they can help you through that. We do also offer our assistance programs or support services. Michael, I know you were talking a little bit about that program as well. Anything that you would add there?
Sorry, it cut out really quick. Can you just repeat the
No, that's
the last sentence?
okay. Just talking about our assistance programs and counseling sessions that we do offer to our clinicians.
Oh yeah. So we also offer they are through our I just forgot what it's called, our guidance resources website. And so you can go on there. It's available for all of our clinicians, even our own personal employees, to be able to go on, maybe schedule a appointment with with a counselor to talk things through. Other than that, though, too, I mean, I always offer this to all of my clinicians that I'm always going to be just an ear for them if they ever need to be able to have somebody just to listen to hear what they say, and then from there, that can help me to advocate for them with all of our other departments too.
Yeah, I love that, Michael. So, lots of additional things that we do in order to support you. But hopefully that answers your question a bit. Just on rates, Steve, what we're also seeing in the current market, and I think we've heard some noise around this too, is that one of the pretty common bumps in the road, and I wouldn't say it happens every single time, but it's not unlikely that you would maybe talk to a travel nurse, and if you ask them the question, have you ever been canceled? They'll probably say yes. So it does happen, and we did see different spikes or peaks of that as we're starting to kind of find our new normal. Lauren, I'm going to come to you when it comes to cancellations with our clinicians. Obviously, we have some experience with it, but what do we do differently at AMN in order to help support our clinicians through that, or hopefully avoid it as much as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, first of all, AMN does have, we're such a large staffing company. We will redirect you immediately if it does come to that. We can get another job for you. I mean, sometimes within hours, within a day. So we will definitely stay in contact as soon as that happens until we get another position lined up for you. So no worries, it does happen, but we can get you off to another assignment ASAP.
I love it. Thank you for that, Lauren. Yes, so we'll definitely talk to you through that. It's not a totally crazy thing that happens, but we know that it can be unsettling if you've traveled to a brand new place and you have all of a sudden been canceled and you're not quite sure what to do next. AMN is also a total talent solutions company. So in addition to travel nursing, we offer all kinds of other staffing, including our local division, which we can have you pick up shifts right away in the area if we need to. And we do also have, I think, Ari, you were going to talk a little bit just about our predictive analytics and how we help support our clients with some of those things as well.
Yeah. Something I've noticed is that when I hear the clinicians I work with talk about their cancellations with other agencies, it seems like it's a lot less likely to happen with AMN because of our longstanding relationships with a lot of facilities. We've been staffing them for so long that we've been able to collect data and use that data to accurately predict what their needs are going to be going forward. So you're less likely to get canceled with us, but you can't completely eliminate the risk. So if it does happen, you're at a company where you're going to have a lot of options to pivot to.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for adding that in, Ari. So hopefully that helps with some of those feelings or fears. We know that it happens. I think one of the great things about working with a company like ours is that we can help talk you through those potential scenarios, work through it, find you another position as quickly as possible, and really make sure that your experience overall continues to be a great one and you have all of those bucket list items. So just a reminder on our giveaway. So what I'm looking for is for you to DM us a screenshot of your dream job location in Passport, our mobile app, and you'll be entered into our raffle for a $200 JNU Scrubs gift card. So make sure that you're jumping onto that Passport app. I'm going to ask my recruiters. I didn't prep you for this question, so hopefully you have an answer. But how are you using Passport with your clinicians, or how have you seen that your nurses have really utilized it? Because it is it's kind of fun to be able to search for jobs on there. Lauren, I saw you immediately come up, so go for it.
Yes. Well, so one of the things I love is that they can just be scrolling, relaxing, send me a job, just like it, I'll get it, I'll have all of the details. We can hop on the phone as soon as possible and go over start date, any time off requests. And it just is an awesome step in the process. So you go on, look through jobs, send them directly to us, and it's pops up, we get a notification, and I love it. It's so awesome. It's like a job communication between the two of us.
Totally. Michael, something to add?
Yeah, I love the Passport because sometimes, especially before we really started using the Passport, I felt like I was the only one that was able to really look at everything, and I do try to get to know everybody that I work with as well as I can. I tell you the number of times and the number of people that that have found contracts where they found something on the AMN Passport that when I got on the phone with them, my very first question was like, I had no idea that you would want to look at something like that. And they were like, oh yeah, like this was actually something that came to mind, but we didn't actually find out about that during our initial conversations when we were kind of going over what their bucket lists were, and sometimes it just sparks that curiosity that leads to something that they eventually go on and enjoy.
Yeah, which is so cool because you can look at things and see. It's almost like going on to a house searching site and just randomly looking at something. You're like, gosh, that actually looks pretty interesting. So it is really fun from that perspective, and it allows you to be a part of the job search process. It's almost like having multiple recruiters at once. And then there is also a really cool feature for you to self-submit. So in addition to being able to search for jobs, you can add your credentials in there, which makes it really easy. And then you can also self-submit to something if you're really excited about it. We know that speed is key, right, Ari? So we want to make sure that we're applying for all of those jobs as quickly as possible. Would you add anything to that?
Yeah, I was thinking speed is key. I have a couple of nurses that are in situations where it's like, I can only be in this area for this amount of time. Maybe later I could go somewhere else. But for them, it's a really useful tool for if that one position comes up that fits their needs, they can click it. It's going to send it to me right away. And we can work on getting submitted, get them ahead of anyone else that might be submitted.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for adding, Ari. We did get another question from Stephen. So I'll start to answer this one, and then any of my recruiters that want to jump in, feel free. But typically, how do you handle a facility cutting a nurse rate mid-contract? So I will plug a little bit, sorry, Rachel, that we did actually talk a lot about this in one of our other recent lives for AMN. But there's a lot of work that happens before we get to the point where we just say, hey, recruiters, you got to call your clinician and talk them through this rate drop or rate change. So Stephen, a lot of things happen on the back end. We do have quite a large support team when it comes to different people talking to our clients. So our program team, for example, or our client sales team has talked to multiple people at the facility typically and said, hey, here are all the things that are going to happen, or here are all the risks of you dropping or deciding to drop a contract mid-rate. Is this something that maybe we can hold off on? Let's keep the clinicians that we have here happy. And then maybe at the extension timeframe, we can give them the opportunity to decide whether they want to stay on at this new rate, or decide to transition someplace else and look for something that fits the need that they have for whatever your financial goals are. If the facility is really in a place where that's the only option and they're not willing to look at anything else, I'll turn to my recruiters to answer this a little bit more, but we will give you the option. So it is unfortunate when it happens. The facilities are trying to meet their needs as well as provide patient care. So we like to give you the opportunity to decide whether you'd like to stay on assignment with that new contract rate, or if you want to look at something else. Michael, Lauren, Ari, anything that you would add there when we have seen very rarely, but every once in a while when we do see those rate drops? Nothing else to add? Ari, go for it.
Well, I was similar to what you said. A lot of our facilities will be taking on many of our travelers at one time. So we just have a little bit more pull with negotiating less of a rate drop if that does happen.
Yeah. And we want to make it, and I think it's such a good point, Ari and Michael or Lauren, if you have anything to add, but we want to make it as the least amount of disruption as possible to all of you. We know that the facility does need you in order to take care of their communities and provide patient care. But Michael or Lauren, anything that you would add there? Go for it, Michael.
I think with this, it's never a fun situation when it happens. But this is one of the reasons why I love being able to work here though at the same time, is because with us, and we get to build a relationship with everyone that is with us. So I'm still at that same exact time, even when it's happening, I can still be your voice, and to everyone in our company, which is so important, especially in these kind of situations, because everybody that I work with, like, they're not just another clinician or anything like that. Like, I know all their stories, and I know like what their goals are, and so I'm always bringing that to the table to try to help figure out if we're gonna if we can do anything there, or if we need to find something that will continue us towards what your goals are.
Right. You're absolutely right. So just having that open dialogue, having that conversation, it's not fun for any of us, trust me, to have those types of conversations when they do come up, but we want to provide you with different options. So that's what your recruiter will do for you, is be that voice. I love that you said that, Michael, to make sure that this is really absolutely what we have to do. Here's the best that we can possibly provide to you as our nurse, and then allow you to make that decision as to whether you want to continue forward or if we want to find you something else. And the great news is we can find you something else, and find you something else really quickly. I love this question from Suzanne. So maybe Lauren, I'll start with you, but what are some do's or don'ts that you have for first-time travelers? What would be some things you would tell them?
For first-time travelers, I would say once you're ready to take the risk, be open, be flexible, be excited for new opportunities. If you have a specific place in mind, that's so awesome. And if it's your dream location and you get there, then that's fantastic. But I challenge you to think outside of the box. Like Michael loves to talk about your bucket list. Think outside the box. Where do you want to go? Think what you like to do, because there are so many places in the country where you can accomplish those things, whether it's beaches, hikes, wine, mountains, skiing. You have a place in mind. I do, at least, where, like, Colorado, skiing. There's so many other places. So keep your mind open for with location. Keep your time off limited. I would say if you have more than 5 days, let's just chat. Because again, we do have that 21 days that we can take all of the relaxation time and rest after. So definitely keep your mind open to location, check off some bucket list items, be a little bit flexible with your time off requests, and talk to us. We want to hear about everything. We want to hear about your worries, what you're excited about, what makes you nervous about it. Talk to us. We truly, truly do love talking you guys through this process. We love it, and we really, truly are here for you guys through the process.
We do. We like live vicariously through all of our travelers. So we want to know about all those things. Ari, I'll come to you. Just any do's or don'ts that you have for first-time travelers, anything you think they should definitely be asking of their travel nurse companies.
Well, one of the first things that comes to mind is do go ahead and download Passport and start, just even if you're not ready to like jump into submitting to a position right now, get your profile ready with us. The skills checklist takes like 5 minutes. That's the main thing we need. So if you are looking on the app and you're like, oh my God, I want to apply to that right now, you're already set up to just click a button and go for it. And let me see what else. I would say just maybe make a list of like your top concerns so that you can get those out on the first call. Like if you're wanting to take health insurance, or you're concerned about like bringing your car or something to a far location, or you might need help with licensing, maybe start thinking about those things and ask those of your recruiter how we can help you out.
Yeah, I love all of that, Ari. Michael, any do's or don'ts that you would add?
The main do that I would say is also a don't as well is just maintain that like I will try to maintain the relationship as much as I can with you, and I just ask the same thing because I work with so many people that they go on their first travel assignment, and we every single time we first start talking, I ask them, why do you want to what makes you want to go into travel? And then generally during that first conversation we answer all the questions. I always ask, do you have any others? No? Okay, well, we will definitely have more down the road. So always, whenever you have any sort of question, please do come to me.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy if I don't know the answer. I will let you know that. But I also have plenty of resources. We have so many teams behind us to help get you all the answers that you do need, because it always kind of hurts when I find out something from somebody that's on their first assignment that was something that I could have helped provide them for, but yes, we all are super busy. We're in a super fast paced environment, but I always will take the time to be able to listen to all your concerns to be able to help get them all done.
We're here for you. No question is too small, right, Michael? It's almost like don't be afraid or embarrassed to ask those questions. That's what we're here for. We know it's brand new to all of you. It's something that we do day in and day out, is talk to clinicians who are on their first travel assignment or maybe multiple travel assignments. So we're happy to answer any of those questions and be here to support you. I would add one more do, and you'll probably see a vigorous head nodding from all of my recruiters. But do at the time of submission, or at the time that you're saying, yes, send my resume to that place, I really want to work there, be prepared that you're going to get that offer back quickly, and be prepared to say yes. Because the world is moving quickly, as we all know and feel. But travel nursing, I would say, moves at warp speed. And our clients, our facilities want to know that when they send that offer over to you, you're ready to say yes and accept. So I think you saw some vigorous head nodding, but be ready to say yes to that offer the second that it comes through, so that you can get all of those other things moving and aligned, and figure out where you're going to live and what are those things that you're going to put on your travel bucket list as you're transitioning. You're moving over to this new amazing place. Ari, I saw you kind of like look like you were going to come off mute. Anything that you would add?
No, it was just like talking about moving different places. It just made me think about how having a recruiter, like I've gotten to work with a couple of people that are taking positions in places I used to live. So it's like, oh, I can send you top neighborhoods to live in. So just another benefit of working with a recruiter.
And that's the fun stuff. We like that stuff.
Yeah.
We hate having to call you for bad news. We want to call you and talk to you about all of the fun things that you're doing, or that you could be doing, and see all your pictures. Send those to us. We love it. Tag us at AMN Nurse. Mention your recruiter if you can. We love to see all of those things. Tiga, question on how often do we see cancellations for ER specialty? We don't see cancellations for any particular specialty, I would say, as kind of a a trend, or maybe something that we see all the time. So it doesn't typically come up as something really specific. I know this is kind of an answer, non-answer, but not all the time. We just want to make sure that we have you in a good spot, and we try to avoid cancellations as much as possible. But feel confident that when you accept that assignment, we're going to do everything we can to keep you there for as long as you want to stay. All right. And Stephen, I'm glad I answered your first question. So another one, does AMN pay weekly or biweekly? So most of our assignments do pay weekly. In some cases, our clients or our facilities have set us up for biweekly pay, but we know that weekly pay is something that's important to you. It's something we try to have for all of our contracts. If that's something that's really important to you, make sure that you let your recruiter know at time of submission or when we're searching, so that we can make sure we set you up with a position that will provide that to you. So great question. Feel free to keep throwing them in the chat. I do want to kind of wrap us up with talking about just the community that we know is so important to you. Gypsy Nurse has done such an incredible job and continues to do an incredible job in creating this travel nursing community for you. As Rachel mentioned, if this is the first time that you're joining this type of event, or if you're brand new to this platform, there's so much great information here that you can get from your fellow nurses. But we also want to set up a community for you within our AMN kind of travel group. So I am going to pass it over to my recruiters to just talk about what are some of the things that you love in being able to talk to your clinicians about that experience or the joy of traveling. Ari, I know you were jokingly talking about it before, but being able to talk about different places to go wine tasting, anything else that you would add here?
Well, yeah, wine is great. So I love sending people to different valleys and stuff. But in addition to that, I also love when I get to talk to a clinician that's maybe wanting to build their resume, or get some different sort of experience, and we can hone in on facilities that are magnet facilities or teaching hospitals. So we have a lot of good relationships with a few of those. So yeah, I like helping people build their resume and drink wine. I think Saundra froze.
Oh no. Um, I can mention some stuff too, because I know that for me, some of my favorite things that I love to talk about with them, especially when we get onto a contract or onto an assignment, is maybe the things that they weren't expecting to have happen. I know that I know I told Ari about this a while ago, that one of my nurses, we were hesitant on going there at first, um, and they weren't really wanting to go down to Florida, but they ended up going. And what happened is we talked a couple weeks later, and they were able to meet some great friends. And then a couple months passed, and I get a message from her that she was getting engaged, and found somebody down there from a place that she wasn't ever expecting to go.
I love that story, Michael, and I'm so glad you just went right into it while my internet went down. I'm sure I was paused in some really, truly horrific state, so that'll be fun to rewatch. But thank you, Ari, for talking about that, and Michael, just such a great example of building that relationship with your team, with your recruiter, and then being able to go someplace totally different. And you never know what life experience you'll have. Lauren, I'm not sure if you went while I was frozen, but anything that you would add?
Yes. So we truly do love being able to be along with you guys on this process when we're talking about jobs in the beginning and submitting, and we're talking about everything you might want to do there and why you want to go there, and seeing that come to life when you are there, getting your pictures of the beaches, the facility, like the outside of the facility, and how beautiful they are, and friends you've made, adventures that you're taking, babies you've had, puppies you've gotten. Like, we want to hear it all, you guys. We're here for you. for your career and to be along for the ride, whatever that might look like for you. So definitely tell us all about it. Come to us for anything. Utilize all of our support departments. It really is a big community here between the recruiters and the clinical managers. We have a housing team on to help you with all of that. So utilize your recruiter, all of the support departments that we have to offer for you, the guidance resources, and keep us up to date on everything you're doing. We really love to hear about it.
I love it. Well, hopefully you've heard from us at this point time and time again that we just so appreciate you. We love being a part of your journey, whatever that looks like, whether that means you're traveling with us back to back on assignments, or you take something with us, travel someplace else, and then come back. We're that person for you, that point of contact. And we are just constantly. And I keep freezing and cutting out. I'm sorry. But we just so appreciate everything that you do. We're here for you. Feel free to reach out to us if you do need anything. Last thing that I will say is just remember to download Passport if you haven't already, and let us be a part of your journey as you either get into travel nursing or continue. But Rachel, I don't know if you want to pop back up. I think we have some of our giveaway winners that we announced in the chat, and then we'll announce the raffle. I am thinking we'll probably handle it on the back end with you, Rachel. So thank you, everyone.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining us. Such great information. We love every time you come on here, so we appreciate it. Ari, I'm going to have to reach out to you about some wine tips because I'll be going to Napa Valley pretty soon. So, so I'm excited to hear about all of your wine, and anybody out there too, your wine stories. So, all right.
I love it.
Thank you all again, and we love having you on here, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks for having us. Bye, everyone.